Speaking to you from beautiful Philadelphia. A great cook does not overload a dish with every spice they have, but shows their mastery of cooking by choosing just one or two of the spices that are going to really make that meal pop, really taste absolutely delicious. And writers, it's similar for writers. Someone who masters writing is someone who knows how to use economy with their word choices, knows to learn what to eliminate from their writing more so than what to include in their writing. As an example, use adjectives and adverbs sparingly and strive instead to make your nouns and verbs work for you. As a refresh, adjectives are words that modify a noun. So it isn't just a tree, it's a tall tree. It isn't just a car, it's a fast car. And adverbs modify the verb, most of them ending in ly. So the car didn't just drive, the car drove quickly. The tree didn't just fall, it fell loudly. Exercising, going to every adjective and adverb and seeing if it can be eliminated and seeing if a better choice of noun and verb could render that adjective or adverb unnecessary is a great way to improve writing. See, we're not going to try to impress the reader with how many words we know, like the spices a cook uses. We're not going to load a dish with hundreds of spices just because we have them in our pantry. Instead, we're going to understand that it is in choosing the one or two spices that really can create a delicious meal. So in our writing, if we're jumping all over the place with a cacophony of words over verbiage, reducing the effectiveness of each and every one of those words, what the reader experiences is a clutter. And there may be a greater variety of words in the writing, but the power of the individual words is reduced. Okay, and in describing our fictional scenes, what about the choice of details? How do we choose what details to include? It matters not where you are, what age, what era, what time of day. Wherever you are, if you're a human being, you are being bombarded by details. Yes, I'm speaking to you right now. Where you are, you have thousands upon thousands of details bombarding your senses. Here is the way humans sense the world. We are mostly oblivious to most of the information available to us at all times. Any artist would benefit from practice this walking meditation I like to do. It's basically wherever you are, if you're walking down the street, if you're walking down the aisle of your grocery store, try to pay attention to what you are not noticing. Try to become aware of the details that you automatically overlook. Try to remember the things throughout your day that you forget the instant after you have paid attention to them. One day you may pick up that cereal box and read the ingredients of a cereal, for the first time read the ingredients on the box of a cereal that you have been eating for years, and having not found information pertinent enough, you set that down and a minute later have forgotten that you did that day. So our subconscious is working very hard 24/7, handling petabytes of information deciding what is important for the conscious mind to be aware of and what it should pay attention to without notifying the conscious mind. The ego is like the great filter that filters out a majority of our experience and just gives the conscious mind exactly what it needs to do what it does very well. But when you read a story that has too much detail, you're not acting as effective as the subconscious is at providing a conscious mind with just what it needs and not more. But here is the problem. When we're writing, how do we learn to write sparingly of detail? When we're going back and rewriting a story, how do we decide what details to leave out? I think there's no end to ways of working out this strategy, but my favorite way, the way that I found that works the best and is the easiest to do, and you can do it in real time, meaning you can, while you're editing, as you continue the workflow, you can practice this and it won't interrupt your critiquing. Every detail you run across, ask yourself, does this detail make what I'm describing seem more real? So, like today, I'm working on a part of the story where there's a cliffside overlooking the water and these giant kites, most of them over 3 stories tall, are being assembled and they're being held to the ground with dozens of ropes. You know, all these giant kites being held to the ground. And I run across the detail, held down to the ground with dozens of ropes, some of the ropes reaching all the way across the field. The reason I like that detail, some of the ropes reaching all the way across the field, that is one detail out of a... I could come up with details about this scene all day long. I could, if I really wanted to, I could go in and put in each petal and each blade of grass and each piece of bark on each tree. But that one detail, that these ropes reach, some of them reach all the way across the field, is particularly effective at making the whole scene feel more real. When you use this technique in your writing, you will begin to respond to your writing in a different way. All of a sudden, some of your details will pop out. Let's give it on a scale of 1 to 10. Some of those details will rate a 7 as far as making the whole scene more real, and others will rate as a 3. And then you'll really be able to pick and choose. So let's say I'm describing a scene at a beach and I want to describe the sand, and my character, she looks down at the sand with pieces of broken shell mixed in with the sand. That little detail makes the scene pop a little bit more. It makes it seem more real. When we write sparingly, we get out of the reader's way. We let their imagination take flight. If we're trying to do everything that we're giving them just enough to really let all that great imaginative, cognitive power go to work and have a great time. See, when we're in real life, when we're going through life, we're conscious of a few things, and we're semi-conscious of like the sky and the wind and the temperature and the effect of gravity on our feet, especially if we've been standing a long time. All these different things that it's somewhere between subconscious and conscious. It's like this semi-conscious. And when a reader reads a well-written work of fiction, where the details have been provided sparingly, their imagination is going to automatically fill in all that background stuff. But if we're trying to do that for them, they're going to, this is going to be writing that is going to be interrupting their conscious mind, and their experience will be cluttered. So as a technique, go to a work of writing you've already written and find each detail and ask yourself, does that detail make the scene feel more real? And practice this. This technique is going to be a great help. I hope this was helpful. If you like my videos and want to get me back, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, aggregate this YouTube link, tweet it, Google Plus it. Please take the time to go check out my work of fiction at solomation.com. It's a story called Terrible Immunity in episode forms, in episodes, illustrated and narrated. It's a terrible story. Oh, it's so awful. It's a terrible, tragic adventure story. You'll have a great time reading it. Again, thank you for watching. I hope that you find a lot of great, juicy details that'll make your stories pop, and have a good day.